Everybody, it's John here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Assassin's Creed Liberation, grabbing the Collector Achievement, which is to find all of the regular collectibles in the game. There are going to be diary pages, alligator eggs, Mayan statuettes, and mushrooms. Starting off with New Orleans, what you want to do is you want to look for the diary pages. They appear all over the map, and when you are in the vicinity of one, they will pop up on your map. So check your map frequently and put up the markers so you can help find them. But here is a guide, so if you need any extra help, you can use that. But the cool thing is, ever since Assassin's Creed 3, the collectibles do appear on your map, which is super duper convenient. But anyways, there are also alligator eggs, which appear only in the Bayou, and the mushrooms we'll get to in a little later on, and the Mayan statuettes only appear down in Mexico. So your main collectible in the city are going to be the diary pages. So once again, they appear all over the map, so get ready to do some traveling. I recommend using the slave persona because you want to keep your notoriety low, because the guards will give you a lot of trouble if you are in the assassin outfit. Trust me on that one, it's kind of a pain. But because your notoriety is default at 1/4. But anyways, here is the one at the cathedral in the center of town. I also recommend, if you're going for viewpoints as well, you can get those while tackling these because you're going around town anyways. But this one's actually higher than the viewpoint. It's on the cross. So in case you get lost, this one is actually higher up than the viewpoint. Then we're going to move on over here. This one is in one of the mansions. It's right on the roof. And we're going to move on over here to the right side of town. We got the house right here, and we're going to grab that. It's right over here. And then we're going to move on over here, down by the docks. And this one is going to be on this pigeon coop. Make sure you grab that. And we're going to go up a bit by this weapon shop. It should be another diary page. So it's right on top of the weapon shop, right here on the chimney. And it's got to grab that. And the cool thing about the diary pages is they're like the feathers in Assassin's Creed 2, where you don't have to interact with them. You just have to walk past them to get them. So that's really convenient. You got this one, which is on the wall in the corner of this room right here. Moving into the upper right-hand corner of the map, you got this one past this chimney. And it's going to be right here on this flagpole. And we're going to move on. Don't forget the plantation. These ones are very easily missable. There are two up here, simply because your focus on the map is going to be in the city, but there are a handful of collectibles in the plantation, and by a handful I mean 3. There's one brooch here we'll get later on because that has to do with another achievement, but there are 2 diary pages, one on the roof and one on that gazebo thing. Now we're going to move on to the Bayou after we tackle New Orleans. There are going to be a handful of diary pages here, but the main collectibles here are going to be alligator eggs, and they're located in alligator nests, and they are protected by alligators, sometimes ocelots for some reason, but you can work on your survive 10 animal encounters achievement while going for these. So my best advice for the alligators is to avoid swimming, because if an alligator attacks you while you're in the water, you will instantly die, which is kind of a pain because then it'll set you back to the spawn, and then you have to walk all the way back, and that's annoying. So every time you're in a vicinity of a nest, what you want to do is you want to look for the alligator and then take it out before it could take you out. Pretty much you have to do a quick time event to take care of it. There is a part in the main story that has you killing an alligator, so you should know how to do it. It's a quick time event with like 5 button presses. Not that bad. Another thing with the Bayou is a lot of the map is actually still hidden because you don't actually explore the outside perimeter of the Bayou in the main game. So I recommend, if you are using this guide, to have as much of the map covered. Pretty much just look for the island's shapes and you should be good. But anyways, I also recommend doing the alligators first, because the next collectible, which are the mushrooms, which we'll be getting to in a bit, has you also trekking around the swamp, but if you have alligators everywhere, they can drown you. So I recommend going 1 round where you do the diary pages and the eggs, and then go and take another lap and get mushrooms. Once again, up to you, but this is how I did it, just to be on the safe side, because alligators killing me was a pain. And if you kill them once, they take a while to respawn. I think you have to leave the bayou and then come back for them to respawn, so you're pretty much safe as long as you stay here. And we're gonna grab another alligator egg here. Once again, tree climbing in the bayou is actually a little cumbersome. It's not like the city where you can just go straight up a building. You have to actually find your way up trees, which also makes getting viewpoints kind of a pain in the neck. But anyways, you got the next diary page in that hollowed out tree. And then a lot of these diary pages are actually going to be in hollowed out trees. So if you are just running around in circles, pulling out your hair, looking for a page, then they'll usually be in trees. With alligator nests, they're usually in open areas. Just be careful once again for alligators, because those guys can mess you up if you are swimming. But here's another egg, and now we're going to move down here and going to grab this. I think there's another egg. It's also by a treasure chest. You can also loot the chest if you need to, but because you're going to need a bunch of money later for ships, which give you more money, which you need for watches, which is another annoying collectible that you don't actually collect, you just save a bunch of money for. But once again, if you have the ships achievement, you should have that done super duper easy, because you can get a lot of money off the trading system. Once again, we're going over here. Once again, this is on the main, the border of the swamp where you haven't explored yet, so a lot of the islands are kind of grayed out. But just try your best. That's why using a map is kind of a pain. So my best advice is to put a marker in the vicinity of that and just hope that appears on your mini map, because, or you can just run around and try to get as much of the map cleared as possible. But there's the last egg, and now we're gonna move up here. There's still diary pages to collect, and gonna look for those. Once again, they usually appear in hollowed out trees, which makes them a little easy to get if you know where you're looking. But so we're going to be back on the main island right here, next to a smuggler. This one's going to be out in the open, so not all of them appear in hollowed out trees. Some of them appear out in the open like that, which is kind of strange. Alright, moving on to the mushrooms. To get the mushrooms to start appearing, you need to start the Bayou Fever mission, and this will have you doing some stuff like curing the sick. But anyways, once you get that done, you need to pick up the mushrooms, and by each mushroom will usually be a skull symbol, which is another Bayou Fever mission. What you do basically is you beat up some sick people, and then you feed them the mushroom, and that will cure them. And there's another achievement based off of that, and it is complete all the Bayou Fever missions. So what I recommend doing is every time you get a mushroom, you want to look nearby for the skull icon and then try to cure that villager. The mushrooms are used for 2 achievements, so you can get 2 achievements knocked out of the way while you're in the swamp. And with all the mushrooms, they require tree running, so you won't be able to get these from the ground necessarily. So you want to look for the trees where you can climb up and then work your way to the mushroom. It's sort of like the other achievement with the ladies to get the brooches, where there's no direct way up. You're gonna have to find a way to get up before you can get the collectible, which is a little annoying, because if you use a map, that doesn't really help, because it'll place you underneath the collectible. You have to like trace your steps back to a place where you can climb up. So with this map, every time I show you a screenshot, it's with the starting point, so where I'm starting off. Now, here is by the Assassin's Hangout. I actually got this by accident. It's right here. This is probably the easiest mushroom to get, but it's right next to the Assassin's Hideout. It's going to be on this stump. I got it and forgot to capture, but take my word on that. With this one, you want to be across the actual island. Once again, it's another pain, because if you just go by the map, then you're probably going to be on this island and not realize you have to be on the island across the river, and you have to work your way across, which makes things a little annoying just using the map, because it doesn't give you a starting point on where you can start your climb, but it gives you the general idea on where it is, which is also kind of good. And here's another one. With that tree, you can actually climb straight up, so that's an easy one. You got this one over by the fort, and it's going to be in a hollowed out tree. Once again, a little bit of tree running, and you can get it no problem. Moving on over here, this is in the left part of the swamp. It's going to be all the way over here. You're going to have to start from an island and then work your way up to the trees, and then you can look for it. So we're going to jump across, going to do some swinging action, and here's where me getting lost. We're going to jump back on this thing. And this one's a little tricky, had me a little lost, but you actually have to climb up here and then grab this branch. And it will be right here. That one was a little hidden, but managed to get it through. This one's by the ruins above the smuggler's hideout. There's another tree we can just climb straight up. And these trees you kind of take for granted because you can just climb straight up. All the other trees you have to find some other clever way in. But we're going to move down to Mexico. The last collectible are the Mayan statuettes. And the cool thing about this map is it's really tiny and there's only a handful, which is super duper awesome. So I recommend saving this for last just because it's kind of like a little reward after all that adventuring through the city and the swamp. But there are going to be 3 main areas. There's the town, the ruins, and like the overseer's house. And there's like only a handful of collectibles. There's also diary pages, but they're also very easily gotten. There's no tricky parkour segments or any tree running nonsense. It's all really super duper easy to get all these statuettes. And there's a handful of treasure nearby, so you can cash in your monies, which you'll need for another achievement to get all the watches. Anyways, you got this one up here, and that's another easy one. Also a treasure chest up there if you need it. Moving on to the overseer's house, there's going to be one over here. It's right behind this shed, and that one's super easy. And now we're going to move on down here to the ruins, and there's going to be one behind the workbench right here. It's going to be on top on the roof. Super duper easy. And make sure you grab that. And now we're going to move on over here, which is literally right across the way. It's in this like food stand. Now we're going to move into the actual ruins. There's going to be 2 diary pages up here and a Mayan statuette. There's also treasure. I believe it's like 750 gold, which is not too much, but it's a decent amount. Might as well get it. It's right here if you want to. I'm not going to film that, obviously. Just going to go into the main ruins. And you actually find another Citizen E up here, I believe. So you can get that if you haven't gotten that achievement yet. But you got this one. You can't jump that rock. Super annoying. But get that. And the last one's going to be in this corner. And the last 2 statuettes you're going to need are going to be in the main story. The first one's going to be in the Secret of Cenote. That is the last mission in Memory Sequence 4. You're going to be in this room with all this technology. It's right before you solve the puzzle. What you want to do is you want to go diving and grab it right there. Just pay attention to your mini map. And if you did miss it, you can always go back in your chapter select and grab it. And same goes for this one, which is in the Return to Mexico. That's in Memory Sequence 6. After you go canoeing, you're going to crash and have to dive into this pond right here. And my best advice is to hug the right wall because there is a split in the road after you jump down here. So you're normally supposed to go straight towards the green diamonds like any other objective, but what you want to do is you want to hug the right wall. You know you're in the right place when you see those roots hanging from that rock right there. So just keep staying here. If you see stalagmites, you're in the right place. So just keep hugging the right wall and ignore the diamonds. So we're just gonna grab our collectible. And it's going to be over here. Look for some more roots and just grab it. And this is the last one. There is the achievement. It's going to be for 30 gamer score. And that's all there is to it.